As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build a brand new theater, and even better news, it has plenty of parking. We have started a soft launch of our capital campaign to assist with the move and new facility. The capital campaign kicks off with Take a Seat. We'll be investing in new auditorium seating, and you have the opportunity to buy a chair and become a permanent fixture without even being there. And if for some reason we remain in our current space, your donations will help us to replace our current seats. During the capital campaign, you will be able to purchase a seat for $1,000. Your donation allows you to select any section of the theater in which to place your seat. But, as part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are cutting the Take a Seat price in half, and you can grab your seat for only $500. This offer is only available during the Do More 24 campaign. Also, your $500 donation does not have to be a single donation. It can be cumulative across the 24-hour period. A plaque on your seat can include your name, your family's name, a name of a loved one, or even your company. Your plaque will remind future generations that your personal commitment makes their theater experience possible. We thank you in advance for your generosity, and we would also like to thank Do More 24 Delaware and the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. We would also like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street Theater. Hello, my name is Brian Touchette, and welcome to CSP Virtual Cocktail Hour. Really pleased to have you here with us. It's been an exciting 23 hours, and we'll be filling you in as we're going along on everything that's been happening. I'm really thrilled about this. When we were putting together the 24-hour, the Do More 24, we were coming up with different ideas, and I was the one who came up with the virtual cocktail hour, so I guess that made me the host. But a cocktail hour by yourself is not really a good. It's not really what I consider a great cocktail hour. So I'll be having a bunch of friends in here with me later. But for now, I'm just going to pull one in with me to chat with a little bit before 5 o'clock, which 5 o'clock is our start. And so I'm going to pull in Scott Mason, president of Chapel Street Theater. Hello, Scott, my friend.
Hello, Brian. Yes, you're right. It has been an exciting 23 hours and counting, and we are here for the final stretch. We kept increasing the goal, as you know, last night during
Yeah.
the talent show, and then today during our lunch in the limelight, we increased it again, and we've beaten that goal too. So I don't think we need to rate. It's too much trouble to go in and change it again. We're just happy for if we hit 20,000 before the night is or before our cocktail hour is done. That would be awesome. But all the generosity that has come out from so many great donors. It's greatly appreciated by Chapel Street players.
It is amazing. We have made 3 times the amount that we made last year, and I think earlier we were chatting. I think that the chair campaign, take a seat campaign, that was the commercial was so good we saw it twice. The take a seat campaign. Well, sorry, just had to throw that in. But the take a seat campaign, I think, has really helped us with this and kicking all of this off. It's been fantastic. So I'm really excited about the cocktail hour. Also a little nervous because I was hoping to eat something before this and I didn't. So this is going to be a fun hour potentially, depending on how many cocktails we're having.
Well, I see you have quite the extensive bar behind you. So clearly you're well prepared. And I don't want to talk about hold up my drink yet till it's my time to talk about a drink. But yes, the chair. And by the way, we saw it twice, those of us in the studio, but it was only seen once by the general public. So
Oh, got it.
somebody forgot to hit the go live button.
Yo, I guess they had already started on their.
I wrote to the tech booth and I said, y'all need to stop drinking now because we have to be professional here. But I like the fact that you're having a laid back for our last little hurrah. It's nice and chill and laid back, which is nice. But yes, to get back to the chair campaign, it clearly is a huge success for us. And I believe our chair count up to this point is maybe hitting 40 chairs. So we've already got 40 chairs out of our close to 200 new chairs are accounted for. And of course, we haven't even launched our major capital campaign, waiting to hear if we get approved by the city council for our new space, thanks to line development. So we'll hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, this is exciting. This has been so exciting for us. I know it's been a long time coming too. So, the general setup for tonight is that we're gonna be chatting with several other friends during this, and we'll be talking about some of our favorite drinks, be they cocktails or other things. And I'll say this is all of us were sort of frantically, I think, getting ready for this tonight. All of us like getting home a bit later than we expected and trying to get together. So this is going to be probably the most ragtag of the three big things we've done. The variety show, very polished, and looked really good. And then the lunch thing, which I was part of also, was fantastic. It was very, very clean and organized. I can't guarantee the same for this. This is going to be a wild ride, I think, to 6 o'clock.
Well, I mean, but what else should a cocktail hour be, Brian? But a while.
Exactly. It's supposed to be spontaneous.
Exactly. And it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, and we're all together. And we just take a moment because we're officially going to start in a few minutes with the cocktail hour. Just got to thank all the people that put Do More 24 together. I know we're going to thank them later, but I just want to say it now. As we enter the home stretch, United Way, Spur Impact, DDOA with their matching funds, and it's quite thrilling. And it's I was talking to Chris Bruce last night in the telethon, and there was some concern, times are different than they were a year ago, and would there be as much generosity across the board? And last year, overall, was $2 million, and I think they're close to making that this year as well. So that's very exciting for so many people that put Do More 24 together. So
it says a lot about, I think, the generosity even from last year. I remember we were just amazed with the generosity of people, not only towards Chapel Street, but just across the state. It's amazing that in 24 hours the amount of money that they're able to raise for so many great organizations. Yeah, it's fantastic.
well, it's actually, yeah, it's sort of miraculous. $2 million in 24 hours, and especially given what's going on in the world right now with the unfortunate situation in Europe, and prices going up, gas prices, food prices, and it's just coming out of the COVID, and it's tough times for some people. So it's again the fact that almost $2 million so far, probably by the end of the Do More over 2 million. That just speaks volumes that there's still good people out there despite hard times. For
Yes.
sure.
Yes. Well, and anybody who's been at Chapel Street, I think, is very motivated to buy new chairs also after you've sat in those things for a couple hours. So I think, having uncomfortable chairs probably helps us in fundraising for this.
Yeah, people complain they've sat there for 2 hours in those hard chairs. It's even worse when you're directing and you sat in the theater for 4 hours in one of those hard chairs.
Right, or a 6-hour tech. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. Well, I think we're really close.
Yes, one of my clocks just chimed, as you know from last night.
Clock, which is at 59, right?
Oh, there we go.
And it's time. All right, we're gonna have a countdown, and then we'll be back with the whole gang. Hello. Cheers, everybody. We'll have a chance to do a whole cheers together as a group in a moment. But
Okay.
exciting to see you all here. Thank you. We'll go around and do introductions in a quick moment. But for those of you just joining us, welcome to the CSP Virtual Cocktail Happy Hour. We are so thrilled to have you here as part of this. And no cocktail party is a party without having friends with you. And I'm fortunate to have 6 friends that I adore and could not think of better people to be with. And a 7th who you don't see that's in the tech booth making all this happen. But very happy to have you here. I'm Brian Touchette. I'm on the board at the theater. I'm secretary of the board. I've also been involved with Chapel Street almost 30 years now, and so it's been a great home for me. And I've done everything. If you hear something in the background, that's my bartender making my first drink for me, which you'll see in a little bit. But we'll just sort of go around. Each of you can introduce yourself. We can sort of go off to Scott next.
Yes, thank you, Brian. Thank you for putting this together. Scott Mason, you may have seen me last night or several times throughout the 24-hour period, but I'm representing Chapel Street as president of the board. And once again, thank you all for all of your hard work and generosity.
I'm Michelle Opoleski, and I am the VP of Box Office. You saw me with Scott last night emceeing the virtual variety show, which was a blast. It was awesome. We got a lot of really good submissions, which I just love doing that because it's so much fun to see our patrons get involved. So yeah, I've been in Chapel Street since 2015. My first show was Who Dame Done It, and I was a nun. So yeah, that was my first show at Chapel Street, and they sucked me in. I mean, they're great people. I really enjoy every single one of them. And they couldn't get rid of me if they tried. So
We can go down to Susan and Bill.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Bill King.
And I'm Susan King.
I'm the Vice President of Volunteerism, although Susan will make sure that I change that to Volunteer Coordinator because we're all volunteers and we're all need a coordinator. So that's my shtick.
Oh,
And I've been involved with Chapel Street over 25 years. My first show was with Brian in Lend Me a Tenor over 25 years ago.
Wow.
Been involved.
You know, I actually didn't realize that was your first show. I guess I'd forgotten.
Right.
Well, I'm not the vice president of anything, but I'm a huge fan of Chapel Street, and delighted to be here tonight.
And Judy.
Okay. My name's Judy David. I've been at Chapel Street for, I don't know, a long time, 20, 30, 500 years. I think the first show I did was directing the House of Blue Leaves, which was the second time I've directed it. And then I most recently directed it for the third and final time because I was too confused between the different iterations thereof. So, yep, that's who I am. And I love me some Chapel Street. So thank you all. And don't forget, you can still donate now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Cullen, the VP of Artistic Production. And you saw me earlier today with Miss Judy talking about backstage stuff. So I'm glad to be back. And I've been at Chapel Street for 22 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great.
I can't believe
It's great to have also the hosts from the other two show for this. So if I just completely fall off the rail here, that you can hop in. So that's good. I'm sure you're all
I won't help you.
So one of the things that we'll be doing during this hour is not only updating you on the fundraising, but also some of the awards that or the incentives that we were able to get over the time from some of the sponsors, and then also announce the winners of the virtual party. Sorry, I just blanked on that. The
Virtual variety show?
virtual variety show. I knew there were two V's. The virtual variety show from last night. Which was amazing. I loved watching those videos. They were fantastic. So the format sort of tonight is that I'm going to be chatting with each of my friends here. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite drinks, be they cocktails or other things, and just chatting and just enjoying the hour. It sort of describes anytime I'm with all of you, what we're doing. So you kind of get to see what it's behind the scenes like with us also. To start off, we're going to show a video of a cocktail that the person that you don't see here is my husband, Peter. He's helping with all the stuff behind the scenes to keep this all sort of running smoothly. And so he put together a video of himself making a cocktail, which is actually the one that he just made for me also. And so we're going to go ahead and watch that video now.
Hi, this is Peter from Chapel Street Players. I'm the VP of Marketing. Today I'm going to make a classic cocktail from the sour cocktail family. A lot of the cocktail we are drinking today is actually in this family and we just don't know about it. So what is actually a sour? A sour is usually made with 3 ingredients. First, it's the liquor. You can use any spirit you like: whiskey, gin, vodka, tequila, or rum. The second ingredient is the citrus, which is the sour part. You can use lemon juice, lime juice, or grapefruit. When you have the sour, you need some sweetness to balance it. So you can use simple syrup, honey syrup, maple syrup, or sometimes it's Cointreau or triple sec. The fourth ingredient is optional. If you don't like it, you can ignore it. It is egg white. When you add the egg white into your drink, it will actually create this foamy texture on the top, and it will give you the creamy richness of the cocktail and also make it look really fancy. So today what I'm gonna make is actually a pisco sour. So what we need is pisco, lemon juice, simple syrup, and the egg white. So I have the pisco here, 2 ounces of pisco, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. And then you need 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. And I would love to actually have my egg white in my drink. So I will add 1 ounce of egg white in it. After you add all the ingredients in your shaker, I will do a dry shake first. After I dry shake the cocktail, I will add the ice and I will keep shaking it. Once it's ice and cold, you will actually pour it over a chilled glass. Oh, great.
It's just as if we're jumping back 2 years. Oh no, sorry. Okay, I probably have to explain what happened there. So last night I was at work late, and Peter was filming that, and I had said to him, he had said to me earlier that he was going to be filming and that he would let me know if he was filming, so that I wouldn't interrupt him. Well, clearly I wasn't paying attention. When I left work, I had shot him a note, and then Scott and I were talking my whole way home. And I walked in while Peter was filming, so I kind of messed up his video. And then after that, well, Peter, I don't know if you want to say anything about any of that.
Well, I think after that, I just totally give up. And I think, all right, I'm just going to finish one drink and pour it, take a photo, and that is it.
Right. Although, Peter, I'm kind of doubting that this one drink thing, because I saw that Pisco bottle looked like it was almost half full. Right now, there's almost nothing in here. So I think there was more than one drink.
And you have to realize that it's not going to be perfect, right? So when you make a mistake, you have to go back and redo it. Just like when we are like we are theater, right? So we'll correct any mistake we do through our rehearsal process. So I have to make sure I do everything correct.
Yes. Well, and this is the drink. You can see he just made that. It's a little hard to see. There's the bitters on top. I actually love the bitters with this because it gives a nice balance to the sweetness of the drink as well. And I love the egg whites on top, the foamy part too. So let's go ahead and try that. It's been Peter and I used to be the Pisco Sour was sort of the drink. Whenever he'd ask me what I wanted to drink, I'd say Pisco Sour because I knew we had no Pisco. And so, although apparently now we have none again, so I'm going to have to go out and get more. But that is a delicious drink. So, Peter, that's the first time I actually saw that video. You did an amazing job with that. What was the hardest part of that video, besides me coming in and interrupting?
I think I spent maybe 2 hours to just record the first 30 seconds when I'm talking to the camera. So that's the hard part. It's so hard to talk to the camera.
If you messed up, you'd have to go back.
Yeah, well, so that's why it's so late. Gosh. When you get home, I'm still filming.
Well, it looked phenomenal, Peter. It looked really good. And thank you for the drink. I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and bring the whole group back in. I don't know if anybody has any comments or anything. I know that was like.
What's Pisco, Brian and Peter? What is that?
It tastes a little bit in the tequila family.
Oh, okay.
It's from Peru.
It's
from Peru, and it is. I think that's a good way to describe it, Peter. It is similar to Pisco. If anybody out there that's listening knows more about Pisco, please share your Pisco wisdom.
Just put in a comment and tell us what is the Pisco.
Yeah, and let's sorry,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's show our appreciation. Let the audience show their appreciation for the wonderful drink that Peter made in his demonstration by making even a $1, $5, $10 donation. Can we have that donation banner, Peter?
Yes.
So we don't forget. Well, we don't forget why we're here.
We're here to drink. Oh, we're not.
I mean,
Yeah.
celebrate the donations.
That's right. That's why we're here.
Yes. Thank you, Peter.
So this is going to sort of be the format as we're going through. We actually had a special video submitted to us by a special person that I think many of you know and love, has seen many times at Chapel Street and other places. And so I'm not going to introduce them. I'm sure they will introduce themselves. And so there's another drink that's being made. And then everybody who's here, I want you to follow the instructions. I sent you the ingredients ahead of time. Follow the instructions and make this while this person is making it. Okay, so we're making it exactly the way that the person is. All right, let's go to the video.
Hello, possums. It is I, Dame Edna, here for the little old Chapel Street players during Do More 24. Sounds a little bit risque, doesn't it? But I'm here in Australia, rooting for Chapel Street players to get lots of donations here in this home stretch. I didn't have time and they didn't pay me to make a drink for this happy hour. So I've pulled from the annals of my archives some old video footage of me making a very special drink. Enjoy, possums, and please donate to the Chapel Street players so they can hire me back. Again, it's time to teach you how to make a very dry Coronatini. But before I continue, I must say that many people accuse little old Dame Edna of being an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a sexaholic. I'm a sexaholic who likes Jim's Beam, Jack's Daniel, Juan's Cuervoses, a little beef eater, and every now and then, an old granddad. But I digress. So, of course, we need to have our shaker. I've already prepared it. I've got my Beefeater gin in here. You can put vodka. Now, of course, besides your vodka or gin in a very dry Coronatini, you needed to have your dry vermouth. So, just watch the dame. Now, possums, just take the shaker lid off, pour it into your Coronatini glass, and that is how you make a very dry Coronatini. Until next time, possums.
Okay, I think this is going to be a smelling drink. I hope you all ate. All right, everybody have your drink. Cheers to my. Go ahead. I just spit all over my pants.
There's nothing like a good drink.
That was I can't wait to hear. I hope people at home tried that. So. All right. Wow. No, I guess now, Scott. Why don't we have a little chat for a bit?
All right.
After seeing Dame, I don't know why I'm going to you. I feel pulled towards you after seeing Dame.
Well, she and I go way back like a reclining chair, but I certainly don't know how she drinks those drinks and can do a show. Oh my God. I think my tongue will be burning throughout the rest of the cocktail hour for sure.
Yes, indeed. So what are you drinking right now?
I am drinking a Negroni. and that is like an Italian martini.
Can you tell us about that? How you make that?
Now I have to remember. There we go.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
Peter. It's 1 ounce of Campari, 1 ounce of gin, and 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. So it's a very simple recipe, but it's basically you shake or stir over ice, and you can use an orange peel for garnish. It's lovely. It's a lovely color. It's a refreshing drink for sure. And I learned about it because right before COVID, back in 2019, I took like a little bucket list trip, Brian, that you knew
Oh, I
about, and
remember. I remember.
yeah, and I went to Italy, so Rome, Venice, and then Mallorca, and I decided just sort of randomly, I thought, you know what, I want to try drinks that are of the places, like try something new, be on an adventure. So the first night I was at the hotel in Rome, I said, what is like your main drink? What is a Rome special? And he said, oh, Italian martini. And I said, oh, that sounds good. And that's where I tasted the Negroni. And then I went to Venice. I'm not sure this drink is unique to Venice, but it was the first time I ever had a drink like this. It was a basil crush. And I came back.
Basil crushes. You make really good basil crushes.
Thank you. So the basil crush recipe, if we can have that. Do we have a slide of that? There we go. The basil crush is 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce lemon juice, two-thirds ounce of simple syrup, and then a handful of basil leaves. And it's fun because you put the lemon juice and the simple syrup and the basil leaves into your shaker, and then you use a muddle, and you get the muddler, and you pound the basil in the bottom, get the juice of the basil leaves out, and then and then you pour in the gin, pour in some ice, and then you shake it, and keep the lid on so the leaves don't come out, and then you pour it in the glass, and then you add a fresh new leaf as a garnish. So yeah.
It's a very refreshing drink too. The Negroni, which I also enjoy, has a little bit of a bitter side to it, but I actually like that.
Yeah, no, the two tastes are extremely different, and the Negroni, yes, absolutely right. That's the Campari, but yeah, and the dry vermouth or the sweet vermouth. But yeah, the basil crush is definitely a great summer drink, sort of like a mint julep.
Yeah.
It has that just refreshing like, it's great to sit out in the sun and drink that, and it's
Yeah.
fun. And then in Mallorca, I don't think again this drink is unique or a specialty of Mallorca. It was actually named after the hotel I was staying in, the Coronado, and that's what the drink is called, is the Coronado. So really, if you like sweet tarts or those Valentine's candies, it's very, very sweet. Do we have that up, Peter? Can we have that? Maybe not. Well, there we go. Because I was not going to remember all these ingredients for sure. So 2 ounces of triple sec, 1 ounce of banana liqueur, 1 ounce of orange juice, 1 ounce of grenadine, mix in the shaker, and then you pour. And then you pour into the ice-filled glass. It is. You can't find a picture of it because I really think it was just something made for the hotel, Coronado, and it is super sweet. You can really taste the banana. It's like having a candy. It's delicious. Yeah.
I have never had one of those. That sounds like a really interesting drink. It might be too sweet for me, but it sounds like
Yeah, you have to. You really have. It's very sweet. It is seriously like drinking candy, and it's dangerous because it is so sweet and like drinking candy that you don't really feel like you're drinking alcohol.
Yeah. That is amazing. It's a great actually idea for traveling and having some local drinks and trying some local cocktails and things like that. And then being able to bring those back home so you can relive those experiences. That's really cool.
Yeah, and if you want, I can leave you for a bit to talk to somebody else. And why don't I go check on some numbers, and then
That's fantastic.
Is that good?
Yep. So next, I'd love to chat with Judy for a bit about what is Judy drinking right now.
Judy is drinking what Judy prefers to drink at all times, which is vodka on the rocks. So, and I'm here to share the recipe with you because it's really complicated. First of all, you have to take 2 parts hydrogen to 1 part oxygen, and mix them together well mixed. And then reduce the temperature to 32 degrees Fahrenheit and separate that into small cubes. And then you can put the cubes in the glass, right? And then you add some non-Russian vodka and a twist of lime, and then you drink it. So just some tips I have if you want to know. You can also buy that concoction, the first part, pre-made. And I actually buy some that are pre-made and encased in plastic, so you can use them again and again, so that you're not making all these chemistry endeavors in your kitchen. So you just put those in your glass, and it also makes it really nice and pretty. Then comes the second part, choosing the vodka. That's really hard. I have a number of favorites. Right now, Vox, which is an American brand, is kind of hard to find. So I haven't opened this last bottle because I'm hoarding it. Kettle One, a nice Dutch vodka, is also one that is good for making drinks with. It also does well in cocktails as well as just drinking on the rocks.
I like Kettle One. Yeah.
Yes. Of course, there's the ever-present Grey Goose. That's always going to be fine. And then there's also Shiraz. Now, all the ones up till now have been wheat vodkas. I don't really like a potato vodka. Shiraz is actually a grape vodka, and that's really interesting. And it is really smooth. A lot of these are distilled 5 to 7 times so that they taste good. Now, Shiraz also makes flavored vodkas, as do a number of other brands, and that's good for putting in a mixed drink or feeding to children, I guess. Yeah, because I'm not a big fan of that. Another American brand is Tito's. That's good for cleaning your windows. I'm not a fan. Sorry. The views expressed here are not the views of Chapel Street Players. The other thing is, it's always fun to try local distilleries. Like there's one right here in Philadelphia for Stateside. And then my current favorite, because like I said, except for Shiraz, these are all wheat vodkas. But a friend of mine brought me back something from Grey Wolf in St. Michael's, Maryland, in a local distillery, and it's made from from barley, which gives it a really slightly different taste and makes it harder to open the bottle. Because for me, vodka means a little water, so it shouldn't have much of a taste in vodka. But every once in a while, someone gets it right. So it's like it doesn't have much of a taste, but it's slightly sweet from the barley. And then you add a little bit of lemon and you smush it in there so that it sticks to the glass when it's empty, and you have to fish it out and then wash it, and then you drink it. It's so complicated. So I know you wanted really complicated drinks, so that's what I brought you.
No, and I think that what's important about the vodka on the rocks is that vodka is going to be really critical which one you have for that.
Yeah.
You just have any vodka basically for that, because
it's like the stuff that comes in the plastic jugs, again, good for cleaning your windows. Maybe if you're making a really big punch for people you don't care for very much, you can use it for that. But if you're going to have a nice vodka, then spend the extra money and get something that you can just sip, and it's like cold water that suddenly heats you up all inside. That first sip, which actually I just had my first sip, just your body relaxes,
Well, while Peter brings everybody else back in, I have to say your description of how to make that, particularly around, it sounds complicated. It almost sounds like we're dealing with there about the whole frozen.
Concoction, having to do chemistry and freezing. I mean, like Peter's drink sounds kind of complicated. Okay, whatever. Egg whites and vodkas or liquor I've never heard of, but putting ice cubes in a glass and putting vodka on top of them, that's a major commitment.
Yeah. Well, Peter, if you can bring everybody back, I think Scott has an announcement.
And yeah, we are back, and I just wanted to update Brian. We are up to and everybody, we are up to $19,500. So let's make an unofficial goal for this last. We're down to the last 32 minutes of 24. So let's try, our friends out there watching the cocktail hour, drink a lot and hit that donation button.
Just everybody give us $10.
Just $10. Let's try to get to 20,000. Would be great. I also have good news that we have compilated the winners of our virtual talent show. We have 2 winners that got the most votes for through donations, not the dollar amount, but the number of donations made in the person's name. And one of them is right. I think the windows are all the same on this. I don't know, but she's right below me. Michelle Cohen, her monologue is a winner.
With money.
And then also Pat Cullinane, who sent us a video from South Carolina, her monologue that she was an original monologue. So, and actually, I did it in reverse order. Pat was the top winner, and Michelle, yours runner-up. So
That's awesome.
Yay, though.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Thank you.
Great. Congratulations, Michelle.
That's awesome. Thank you. I feel
It
so
was a
honored.
beautiful monologue.
It really was. It was amazing.
Yes.
And Pat's, I love that she had written that.
That was great. Yeah.
And I love that Pat had written that herself. Too.
Yeah.
It was so good to, I haven't seen her in quite some time. It was so great to be able to see her again. So to help encourage for this last little push to 20,000, and to remind everybody about a Take the Seat campaign, we actually have a little commercial here for you to help you understand better. Take a seat. As part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are offering a special incentive for our Chapel Street patrons, volunteers, and friends. As many of you have heard, CSP is working with Lang Development to build a brand new theater, and even better news, it has plenty of parking. We have started a soft launch of our capital campaign to assist with the move and new facility. The capital campaign kicks off with Take a Seat. We'll be investing in new auditorium seating, and you have the opportunity to buy a chair and become a permanent fixture without even being there. And if for some reason we remain in our current space, your donations will help us to replace our current seats. During the capital campaign, you will be able to purchase a seat for $1,000. Your donation allows you to select any section of the theater in which to place your seat. But as part of the Do More 24 campaign, we are cutting the Take a Seat price in half, and you can grab your seat for only $500. This offer is only available during the Do More 24 campaign. Also, your $500 donation does not have to be a single donation. It can be cumulative across the 24-hour period. A plaque on your seat can include your name, your family's name, a name of a loved one, or even your company. Your plaque will remind future generations that your personal commitment makes their theater experience possible. We thank you in advance for your generosity, and we would also like to thank Do More 24 Delaware and the many sponsors who are giving additional incentives and bonuses during this event. We would also like to thank the Delaware Division of the Arts for their continued support of artists across the state of Delaware and to Chapel Street Theater. Hi there, welcome back to the CSP Virtual Cocktail Hour. I am actually now going to make a drink live. This could go really well, or I might never do this again. First, I'm sitting, which I'm not usually doing when I'm making a cocktail. And let me just bring that down for you. I am actually making a Classic Cosmo. The Classic Cosmo is actually, it's the first drink when Peter and I started dating, and he was at my house, and I was asking him what cocktail he wanted. He wasn't sure. And I said, well, why don't I make you a Cosmos? This is actually the first drink that I made for him. So to start with this, then, in your shaker, you want to put ice. Sorry, it's not fancier than just a bowl here. Okay, it's already going badly. I can't even get the ice in there. You want to put a substantial amount of ice, at least a cup or more in there, because it is the ice really helps to emulsify the ingredients when you put them in. And so one of the first things, and I should have picked that up during that commercial, is a vodka. Now, you can use almost any vodka in this. For this, I'm using Kettle One, but it's not the only one that we use in this. And I'm not getting any money from Kettle One to do this. And so in a classic drink, then, it's 2 ounces of vodka. Whoop. Okay, I'm already spilling. And then it's 1 ounce of cranberry juice. You can use any cranberry juice. But you do want to have something that's going to be, a decent tasting, because it is going to, not that it's half, I am spilling everywhere. It's half of the vodka, and that's about usually what I do anytime I'm doing, when I'm making a Cosmo. the cranberry juice is made to help give it a little bit of the bitterness, but then also to give the color of it as well. And then 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Now, when you're doing this, you want to really use fresh lime juice when you're adding it in. I know that you get that kind in the store that's in the thing, but I will tell you, it will be rewarded by actually taking the time to juice a lime, or having a neighbor or somebody do it for you. So 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, and then the last ingredient is triple sec, or if you're feeling like you want to do something a little bit higher end, Cointreau is really good in it. I actually prefer Cointreau over triple sec in this, but either is fine. So 3/4 of an ounce of that. The ice I had in the freezer beforehand. It helps actually to have the glass I had in the freezer beforehand. And it really does help because you're pouring then a cocktail into a cold glass. So you shake vigorously for at least 30 seconds, but I'm going to do a little bit less for time. And of course, right now, there we go. All right. And then, oh, there it is. Thankfully, it was right here. I didn't have the strainer. And then the strainer. All right. The last piece to make it extra fancy is a orange twist. You can just take a little bit of orange off. Be careful not to go too deep into the orange. Oh, that's like a huge twist. Be careful not to go too deep into the orange. Just going to cut that because you will get some of that white pith, which is a little bit bitter. So you do like a little bit of twist over it. You put that in. Oh, wow, that's really good. And my table's really wet. So this is going to be fun with these papers now going on. That's really good. Classic Cosmo, really easy drink to make. And is usually like in parties, it's a good one to like sort of have in your, arsenal for, it's something that people often ask for. So, all right. Let's go ahead. And we're going to go on to Bill and Susan and chatting with them about.
Uh-oh.
No.
Hello.
I love the background behind you and stuff, and it's so lovely to have you here.
Oh,
Thank
so
you, thank
lovely
you.
to be here.
So what are you drinking?
Well, our current favorite cocktail is something that I've named an Amarula Caroon Martellini. Do we have the ingredients up there already or no?
Well, Peter will be there in a moment. He just came down to steal the Cosmo and give me a towel. So
Well, I can get started with the ingredients. It's very simple.
Okay.
Since it's a martini, we want to start with some very excellent gin. And what we're using today is something called Caroon gin. It's from Scotland. And I'm honoring my ancestors because my grandfather was from Glasgow. And my sister Joan usually gives me some very good gin every Christmas. So we've got the Caroon gin. And then you're going to use 1 part gin, 1 part Kahlua, because as far as I'm concerned, Kahlua goes with everything. So you get 1 part Kahlua. We get the economy size here. And then we have a little splash of grenadine in it because we're fancy too. So we have a little splash of grenadine for sweetness and color. But the major ingredient for our Amarula Caroon Martellini is something called Amarula liqueur, which you may never have heard of. It's from a very special tree, the marula tree in Africa. So the way that we found this initially, Bill does this thing where he kind of like wanders the aisles of the liquor store, looking at all the bottles and labels and and looking for a special color or shape of a bottle or some special label. And on this magical day, he came across this label with the elephant. And it said, "Psst, Bill, Bill, psst, over here, look into my eyes, look into my eyes." Remember those National Geographic videos you saw on the Nature Channel? You know, the ones with the elephants and the wildebeest and even the lions and the ostriches staggering around this giant tree because the fruit was not only ripe, it was fermented. They were loony. And you too can have this experience. Psst, God, take me home, take me home, take me home. So he did. And we have enjoyed this straight. We've enjoyed it on the rocks, over ice cream, all many ways. So you mix this together. I usually like to chill the ingredients so I don't have to fool with breaking open the cocktail shaker and having all the ice all over my counter. But we like the Amarula here. So I like to chill the ingredients first and mix it and then top it with some lovely little chocolate ribbons. Now, if for some reason around your household those chocolate ribbons disappear off the kitchen counter, never to be found again, luckily you can use your little stash of salted caramel chocolate crumbs to garnish the drink. Keep it in a safe place.
That sounds delicious. I am going to find that. Thank you. I don't have any.
Did you talk to her about the?
We're getting there. We're getting there. Because we're doing more for 24.
Yeah.
I have some Marola lure just for you, because we're intellectuals here. This is from the Amarula people. The Marula tree is actually called the elephant tree in the savannas because the elephants really do travel miles and miles and miles to eat the fruit when it's ripe. And we're also big on ancient history and ancient civilizations and archaeological digs. And we found out that there's archaeological evidence in a cave in Zimbabwe that this little fruit, it looks kind of like a little yellow plum, has been around since 10,000 BC. And eating the fruit is somehow featured in ancient fertility rites. So you can see why this stuff is irresistible.
Right.
The Amarula people say that this marvelous ancient tree shares its carefree gift of joy with the elephants and with the whole community. And in Swaziland, the annual Marula Festival is celebrated at the King's Royal Residence. I can't make this stuff up.
Susan,
Yes,
sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I don't know how much more you have with this, but we are running short on time. Is there?
Okay, enjoy.
Thank you. Sorry. Actually, if you send that to me, we'd be happy to post that up and stuff.
Okay.
That's very interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we still have some other guests and some other videos I want to make sure we get to.
No problem.
Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you. Next, we're going to have a video from Jeff, who I've met many times, and making a drink for us.
Hi, I'm Jeff Manzoli, and I'd like to thank Chapel Street Players for inviting me to participate in this year's Do More 24 fundraising campaign. If you haven't donated yet, please pause my video, go make your donation, and then come back to me. Let's make a cocktail. Tonight I'm going to be making an Empress Aviation, which is a variation on the classic aviation cocktail, only it uses Empress 1908 gin to give it the signature purple tinge that the cocktail has. There's no creme de violette in this particular recipe. Now, the color is going to be coming from the butterfly pea blossoms that are infused into this gin. And they are just gorgeous. It's kind of hard to see in this bottle at the moment, but once I've poured it over the ice and into the cocktail glass, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The other ingredients are simply maraschino cherry liqueur and, quite simply, fresh lemon. So, you're going to start with a cup of ice, well, a mixing glass full of ice, and you want to give yourself a 2-ounce pour of the gin. Here we go. There's one. And as I'm doing this, you can see that gorgeous color that I was talking about, that deep, deep indigo blue. And the next ingredient is going to be a 1/2 ounce of the maraschino. And that's going to give it the sweetness that would normally be also imparted by the creme de violette in a classic aviation. Now, I would also normally put the lemon in at this point, but I'm going to hold off for a moment, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So we're just going to give this a quick stir to chill everything and mix it up, and then we'll proceed. And you only have to do this for anywhere from 20 or 30 seconds at the most. You don't want to completely dilute it either. Just until it's good and cold. And then we'll take this and we'll strain it into your cocktail glass. In this case, I'm using a classic coupe. Now you can see that gorgeous, deep, deep, deep purple that it's got to it. And here is why I had you hold back on the lemon. Because if you have guests over, this is something you'll probably want to have them do, because it's just got a wonderful little wow factor to it that you just can't beat by shaking it up and just pouring it to them. They have this in the glass. You give them a little stir. You have them drop a shot. Well, it's 3/4 of an ounce of the fresh squeezed lemon juice into this cocktail, and watch what happens to it. The citric acid reacts with the butterfly pea blossom, and it completely changes the color. And now you get that wonderful, vibrant purple that the aviation is known for. And then you simply garnish it with a little lemon twist. And there you have one Empress Aviation cocktail.
Jeff, my friend, thank you very much for that video. I actually have one here pre-made, and the juice that they mentioned, I will mix it in. Oh, that is really pretty. It's a nice purple. And while I'm taking a sip of this, I'm actually going to bring both of the Michelles in. Oh, that is lovely. I really like that. That's going to become a new favorite of mine. That's good. Some of those ingredients are a little bit difficult to find, but wow, that's really good. Thank you. Michelle, so good to see you. And we saw the note from Pat Cullinane earlier. Pat, it was so good to see your note, and thank you. I wish we all could do coffee after. It would be fantastic, or drinks or something. It would be fantastic. So, Michelle, Cullen, what are you drinking?
I actually have two. I have two drinks. I hate to admit it. I have two drinks, but I do. I have wine, and then I have a, you know how I like my Irish liqueur, my Bailey's, and so I have a Bailey's drink as well.
Great. I think we also have a video you made for us too, right?
Yeah, of a third drink. Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. Let's go to that video. We can come back and talk
Hi, everybody.
more.
I'm Michelle Cullen. I'm the VP of Artistic Production for Chapel Street Players, and I thought I'd make a little cocktail today. I'm going to make a cocktail out of cognac. So I developed a love of cognac actually on my very first flight to Germany many, many years ago. So I went on Lufthansa, if you know that airline. It's an amazing airline, and they take really good care of their passengers. And the flight to Germany was really bad as far as turbulence. So we had such amazing, horrible turbulence, and the kind of turbulence where the plane like drops a couple of times. I don't know if you've ever been on a plane like that, but it was pretty terrifying. And I'm a seasoned traveler, and it was even making me nervous. So what Lufthansa had done, had the flight attendants had done, was to offer everyone a drink, an alcoholic drink, and you had two choices. One of them was cognac. I really can't remember at this point what the other one was. And I'd always wanted to try cognac, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try the cognac. And it was so amazing, and I've been a fan ever since. And I can't say, is it because it just tasted so good, or is it because it made me feel so much better, and now I'm attached to that feeling? I'm not really sure, but I am a big fan of cognac. So today I'm going to make a sidecar. It is a classic cocktail made from cognac. And apparently it's the story goes that the name sidecar came from an American captain who was stationed in Paris during World War I, and he got around Paris in a sidecar, and that's how it got started. So let's begin with the cognac. So I have my cocktail shaker here. It already has ice in it, so I started that already. So the recipe calls for 2 ounces of cognac. So I am going to measure 2 ounces. It smells good. And then 1 ounce of Cointreau. So Cointreau is an orange flavored liqueur. There is another one, Grand Marnier. You could use that as well. But this is 1 ounce of Cointreau or Grand Marnier, whichever you prefer. I'm sure there are other types of orange liqueur out there that you could use. So it's 2 ounces to 1 ounce, 2 ounces of cognac to 1 ounce of Cointreau. And then 1 ounce of lemon juice. So I've already have some squeezed lemon juice here. It's 1 ounce as well. So 2 ounces of cognac, 1 ounce of Cointreau, 1 ounce of lemon juice. And you pour that all into your cocktail shaker. Now, as you may already see in my glass, I'm serving it in a martini glass. And I know there is actually a sidecar type of glass. There's a specific glass that might be called the sidecar glass. It's a little bit curved, but I don't have one of those. So we're using a martini glass. And as you may also see is that I have it rimmed in sugar. Not very good at that, but this is not salt, it's sugar. And then you top it off with a lemon wedge, or I suppose you could do any kind of garnish that you wish, but you know, the lemon wedge makes it look kind of pretty. So, cheers. Perfectly tart, one of my favorites. So I hope you liked my little cocktail. It's pretty easy to make. See you later. Bye.
Michelle,
Awesome.
I love that. Now, I've known you a long time. I don't know if I ever knew that you were so interested in cognac. And I'm embarrassed to say, I don't think I've ever drank cognac. So now I know the next time I'm at your house what I'm asking for.
Yeah. My cast of Enchanted April, when I directed Enchanted April, they gave me a bottle of cognac as a gift because I mentioned so many times how much I love it. So I find it rather smooth. I'm not a hard liquor kind of person. I don't like whiskey or that kind of thing. And cognac is a little bit smoother, in my opinion.
Well, for those out there, so that you know, we only have about, I think, 7 minutes left. We are under $200 shy of $20,000. We are that's amazing. Never thought that would happen. And I want to get to both of you in a moment, but I'll make sure to thank a couple people before we do, because I know both of you much like me, are wine lovers, and I think that you both have like your favorite wine list. Yes, yeah, I know you're drinking both. And so there's two different. So please donate down there. Please give. And sorry, there's chats that happen in behind the scenes, and I'm trying to keep. So I'm going to trust one of you to tell me that.
We have some actually very important news.
We did hit it.
We hit 20,000.
We hit 20,000. I'm speechless. I really am.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. Well, we'll get back to wine. Peter, if you can bring everybody back in though, and we'll be coming back to wine also. That might be after the 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah, after, yeah.
Amazing. Peter, if you can just get everybody else back in for us to have hit $20,000. Thank you so much, everybody. Cheers.
I think we do need a cheers with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
Oh my God. That's insane.
Yay.
Incredible. Thank you so much. There's two different groups that we want to thank also. Throughout the 24 hours, there were every hour had different incentives. And so if you would have the most unique donation, or the most unique meaning, the most people that would have donated, but not the same person, so you only count once, that donated within an hour period, or like the top 20 of that group, or some were random drawings, or there were all these different criteria for each hour. And there were two that Chapel Street won that actually gives us extra additional funds as part of this as well. And one was called the Golden Ticket. That was 9 p.m. last night, the 9 p.m. hour. And that was from the Kenny Family Foundation. So we thank them very much for being part of this. The other is King Creative Isolation Power Hour. King Creative is a company. It's the when Scott last night was on the, is that called Telethon? I'm not sure what it's called. So he does like 24 hours of talking about all of this.
Yeah, I think it's the Do More 24 marathon.
That's it. And so, but we want to thank him. He's it's amazing that we got that, because we have a connection to both him and his wife. I've worked. I know Judy's directed him. I've directed his wife. So thank you very much to King Creative also for that. We also want to thank. We're not finishing yet, but we just want to make sure to get these thank yous in. We want to thank so much Do More 24. It is incredible, absolutely amazing what we were able to do in 24 hours. Thank you so much for your generosity. We also want to thank Spur and United Way. Also, United Way helps to make all of this possible in terms of the way donations happen. And then also, certainly, who has been a strong supporter of Chapel Street in the past, the Delaware Division of the Arts, who support so many arts organizations across the state, and have been very generous with Chapel Street as well. So thank you to all those organizations. Is there any, and then Scott, you can check me if there's anything that I missed in those thank yous.
No, nothing that you missed. I just did some quick checking. That's why, if you see me looking around, I've been doing this, trying to refresh and look at the numbers on the Do More 24 leaderboard. And they take a while to refresh, but it looks like we have that the current $20,053 from 67 unique donors. So thank you, 67 people. I think, ironically, 1967 was when the leaders of Chapel Street got the house and the theater at our location. So there's some karma there, I think. And it's just been wonderful. And again, things will keep refreshing for the next few minutes after 6 o'clock. But it looks like out of all the smaller nonprofits, we are the 5th or 6th highest nonprofit in that division. So that's just amazing news. And again, thanks to all the generosity and support for live theater, for Chapel Street Players, for the community.
Thank you, Scott. And it's overwhelming almost, the generosity of everybody. And we really appreciate it. this really helps propel the start of our capital campaign. We are, and thank you, Laura, so much.
Laura.
Right.
And the generosity and just it's just incredible. It's a great way for us to start this campaign as we move towards a new theater, which we are so excited about. And we still have to wait for a few final steps to come into place for that. So thank you. I think we have about 2 minutes, about a minute or so left. And so I still do want to get back to wine with the Michelles. But I don't know if there's anything else, Scott, that we need to cover before 6 o'clock.
Just checking, refreshing one more time. The nice thing I do want to mention is last year we did raise close to $6,000. So we really didn't know what to expect this year. We started with the goal of $7,500. We've changed it a bunch of times, and who would have known that it would be over $20,000. And the nice thing that we've thanked, maybe everybody doesn't understand, we've thanked the Delaware Division of the Arts frequently and the Spur Impact because of them. Those nonprofits that are grantees from the Delaware Division of the Arts, there's a pool of money, a stretch pool, and it will be divided among all the nonprofits that are under DDOA in the big division, the smaller division, and so, it was really nice. Last year, that matching fund was $9,000. So hopefully, maybe this year it might be a little bit more since we got a little bit more this year. So thank you again, Spur Impact DDOA.
Great, thank you. And it is, these funds are very important to us, not just to operate as a theater, but also particularly because moving to a new space, there are a lot of infrastructure that we put in the building that we're responsible for in terms of like the theater lighting and things like that, and sound and just a lot in terms of the spaces. And so, along with the new seats, and so it's very important for us as fundraising. And the capital campaign will continue after this.
Brian, there it is. It's 6 o'clock. The clocks are chiming. We hit $20,548. Thank you. It's the end. We're going to stay on, but it's the end of March 24. Yay!
Wow. Thank you. So, Michelle, let me get to you real quick. And then I know it's after 6, so some people may need to actually go eat to try to chase the alcohol. So, I know each of you, particularly, so when I was asking about like favorite cocktails or drinks, each of you gave wine lists.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious. So I want each of you to do one, and we'll just sort of go back and forth.
Yep.
Michelle Cullen first, and then Michelle Lowe.
Oh.
So Michelle Cullen, one of your wines?
So I do prefer reds. Malbec is my favorite. I'm drinking that right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Great.
I do like the. Go ahead, Michelle.
No. So Malbec, and then Michelle Lowe.
I like Montepulciano, if you can see it.
Oh, I've had that. Which one is that?
Oh, what is that?
That's Zaganini. It's Zaganini's, and it's from Abruzzi, the region of d'Abruzzo, which is where my family was from originally. So I think that's why I like it. I don't know. It's very rich. It's very, it's like a meal. Like you can have it with a meal. It's very, it's just very, very good. Almost like a Chianti, but I like it. It's a little bit rounder than a Chianti, if that makes sense.
Is it a little sweet, Michelle? Is it a sweet kind of
No,
wine?
it's not sweet. It's dry, but it's very full bodied. So you do taste the fruit, but it's dry.
It is. It's amazing. I've had that.
I love Montepulcianos. Yeah, it's like my favorite. Yeah.
All right. Well, next party, Michelle, you need to bring that.
No problem.
Michelle Cullen, your next one.
I would say, so I'll go white this time. I do like a Chardonnay. In the summertime, I usually only drink white, and I will pick a basic Chardonnay.
Yeah. It's funny because when Peter and I, when we're having parties, we're trying to think about different people that are going to be here and the things they like. And so we always make sure for you that, and I know sometimes it is a time of year too, but to have a white or something available for you for a white. So Chardonnays are, there's such a wide range of Chardonnays, but they are fantastic. I love for me, I really like the ones that are more smoky and that they've been, and that have been aged in oak or something like that you can you get that deep flavor and stuff. Yeah. And then Michelle O.
So for white wines, I like a Veradicchio. So like Veradicchio is, and I you can't find it all the like many places. It's a white wine. It's from Italy. The one I like, and I wrote it down, is a Brunori, Brunori. And it's Veradicchio is a white wine. It's dry. It's very crisp. It's like biting into a really, really good Granny Smith apple. Like it is really crisp and it's kind of dry, but it has that little bit of sweetness in the back. It's really good. It's perfect for the summer. It's like my favorite summer wine.
I'll have to try that because I like Sauvignon Blancs because they have a very similar profile.
It's similar. Yeah.
And so I'll have to try one of those because
I'll have to bring some of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Michelle Cullen, your last one. Did you have one more?
I would go again back to red. It would be Cabernet. So I do like a rich red wine.
Yeah. I like reds too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Michelle, did you have another one?
The only other one I listed before was my husband and I went on our honeymoon to Italy and we stayed at a vineyard, and the vineyards, the winemaker's named Sergio Maturo, and he made a sparkling wine that was unbelievable. And you can only get it in certain states because he only ships to certain states. Of course, not Pennsylvania, Delaware, or Maryland. But my husband has actually gotten it shipped to us for like anniversaries and stuff. I have a bottle of it here, but it's empty. Our anniversary is in April, so hopefully I'm getting more.
Oh, yeah. I hope you do. Yeah, we have a fair number of empty bottles around here, too. So.
Very exotic wines, Michelle.
They're all, that's the ones I like. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Peter, if you can bring everybody else back in. And I know that some of you have to, because you had other commitments and stuff tonight, so I understand if you drop off. But I'm not wrapping up necessarily right now, but I just tell you how much I appreciate so much that you were here with me. My dear friends, for us, for this amazing moment of us exceeding, I think, what any of us thought was possible. And so thank you. The names down below are all the different people who've donated. We have so many people to thank, and you'll see a lot of that in the credits after we're done. But I just want to thank the 6 of you for just being part of this with me for this virtual cocktail hour. I could not have imagined a better group of people that have wanted to spend this time.
And Peter.
Brian.
And Peter as well. So the 7.
Yes, thank you, Brian.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just stunned.
Yeah.
Thank you, B&P Studios.
Yes. Thank you, everyone who gave
Not
money.
Production Studios.
BMP Studios. Effervescent.
Thank you.
And then the Judy and Michelle Show.
That was a really good show. I really loved that show.
We were scared that we weren't going to be able to fill a whole hour with chitter chatter.
I would watch you every morning.
I was terrified that I was gonna. I actually had on my phone trivia, like cocktail trivia, because I'm gonna come up 15 minutes short. I know that.
Brian, I've been contacted by the booth. And
they need to do the credits.
They want us to shut up.
We need to say good night and show the credits. And then we can hang out, but we need to wrap up our show.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
People are amazing.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
We're going to the credits at some point.
We'll get us out.
Slowly leaving. Michelle's gone.
I'm still here. Michelle's gone.
I know it's a double Michelle.